Hello, hello. Let's see. Are we streaming? Are we on? We're on. We're on like Donkey Kong. All right, so today is Wednesday. So tonight we're not going to stream past 9 o'clock. We may only stream an hour. We may not stream that long tonight. We'll do 90 minutes, maybe 2 hours. Because yesterday I found out what my limit is. My limit for streaming, my physical limit, and I don't mean like, uh, my muscles, my muscles, or what else? Like fatigue. I'm talking about my voice, y'all. My voice is was pretty sore last night. Like I had a cold, sort of, but no cold. Um, yeah. So yeah, 2 hours I think is the maximum, or a close maximum, within the maximum of straining my voice. Because normally I don't talk that much, really, in real life. Well, I do, but not with the same fervor as I have for y'all for Elden Ring. Um, it's yeah, it's fun. This is fun. It's a good hobby. Let me get a drink of coffee. So we got to get all the subjects that we want to uh, touch on this evening within 2 hours. Uh, yeah, within 2 hours we can do it. We can do it. Let me put on my Inquisitor gear. I feel like myself once again. And the last two nights, when it comes to the, oh, you know what? Let's be silly. Let's put a goal here for in the chat. A goal. What is the goal? Let's see. What? Share your timer. We'll say timer 2 hours. What? How will I celebrate if we reach this super chat goal? Face reveal. Oh, you know what? Not real face, character face. We'll do that. That probably never gonna happen, but it's still fun. It's still fun to pretend, just goofing around. Nothing serious. Superb chat. Yeah, man. Welcome back, Jackal. Jackal, a fantastic streamer, by the way, ladies and gentlemen. Go check him out. Sunset Jackal on Twitch. Fantastic guy. Also, if you join the Discord, you get to talk to him also, because he's on there. He's on there. He's an active member of the Discord. And yeah, and he's very intelligent. I'll tell you that. A lot of charisma. He's dripping charisma, or whatever the word is, Riz today. He's very talkative. And don't forget, there's also the boss, Saucer. He's also very full of charisma, very intelligent, or as you say in French, muy inteligente. And then let us not forget Rattle. Rattle's really intelligent too. He's got charisma. He's got that draw that everybody loves. Let's see. The Lux runes up north. This is Boss. Boss says the Lux runes up north were blah. I can't read tonight. Lux runes up north. Who were they? Oh, Nox before their betrayal. What? What up north? Lux runes? Is there a side of grace over there? Up north. North from where? Freeman Joe. Freeman Jace? Jace? Hey, it's Free Juice. I changed my name again. Ah, that's funny, bro. Okay. Okay. He changed his name. Uh he's hiding from the United Kingdom's intolerance of free speech. I don't know. I love the UK. A lot of beautiful women there, I hear. Beautiful women come out of there too. I know one. Boss says literally just a bit north of your location. Oh shit. All right. Just a bit north. Oh, Lux Ruins. Dang. It's I honestly I don't think I've ever paid attention to this to the name of this place. All right. So what we're gonna do, we're gonna go look at the Lux Ruins. We're gonna see what's up. Light in Latin. Lux is light in Latin. Interesting. Okay. All right. And you suspect they are Nox related and Nox. Oh, Nox and light. Oh, I see. Because Nox is night. Lux is. Okay. Okay. I see. Okay. Okay. I see it now. I see. Yo entiendo, señor. That's me trying to speak Spanish or French. All right, let's go look at them. If they were, you said, are they Nox ruins before? Are they Nox before they were betrayed? Interesting. We shall see. I got a 4-day weekend coming up. I think I can beat Elden Ring again in 4 days. I think I'm gonna beat Elden Ring so I can have a non-burning tree on my character. Before they went against the greater will. All right. This is a good question. A good question. Fine question. It's a doozy. You know what else is a doozy? This week's question of the week, ladies and gentlemen. And thank you to everybody who's watching and to everybody in the future that watches. I really appreciate it. Let's see. The question of this week, and that we're going to be answering on Saturday, because that's the new call-in. This week's question of the week. If you wish to participate, join the Discord, and you can tell us your answer. Right? What motivated your choice of ending on your first playthrough? Now that you understand the story better, do you stand by that decision? That's a doozy. That's a real doozy. I'd love to answer that, but I'm going to wait. I'm going to wait till Saturday. What's up, Slope? Welcome back. All right, here we go. All right, so we're here at the at the Lux Ruins. We're seeing if there's any connection to the Nox, or were they cousins? A cousin civilization pre-Grand Nox? Oh, you know what? Perhaps. Man, what? That guy's like dodging my head like Neo. Hold on. Dodge this. All right. Slope says, I stand by Ronnie. Got her ending because it had a real cutscene pretty much. And you still stand by that till to this day? Slope? String? Can we assume that this place is some type of church or no? Or maybe okay. It's a temple? It must be a temple or something because you have a grand staircase here. Boss, what item is hidden here? Oh, there's a boss here. I know that. Slope says to my answer, yes. Yeah, because I don't like Greater Will. I like her being rebellious, and I want to get the magic BS out of the world. Ooh, okay. I can respect that. I sided with House in Fallout New Vegas. Oh man, I don't know. I don't know who House is, but I feel you. Sword Talisman. Curved sword. Shield crash. Let's see what else. So this must be, if this is a wall, this is a wall here. This wall connects to this wall. So this is part of the original structure. I had thought it was like a little village, but I can see that it's not now. Is it called Lux Village? Lux Ruins. It must have been a temple of light. All right, there's a basement there. That's where the boss is. Another room. A bedroom or a storage room. A dining area. Because all this must have been inside here. A grand staircase. You come down here, you're like, milady. And then you're like over here. Walking here. I'm not sure if this was inside. This must have been like an outdoor patio. Oh, you know what? This could be a wall that's fallen down. Maybe. I'm just trying to get the layout of what we're looking at. You know what I mean? What is it that we are looking at? Maybe Lux is short for luxury, like a wealthy family estate. These rooms lack the variety in design. You know what, boss? That is a fair statement. And Rattle, your statement also is also a fair point if we're looking at it in game. In universe, I mean. That's a tower. All right, let's go look at this boss. I think it's Marjorie. Right? We'll try to keep her alive. For a little bit. Maharet or something like that. Demi-human Gilica. Purple eyes. Normally we see creatures, they have red eyes if there's something. So is that purple because she's in league with Saint Trina? Maybe? Saint Trina's the only purple color that I know of. gravity. Okay, but we don't. I don't see her casting any gravity magic. Is it because I already gave her too much damage? Let me die real quick. Because she already threw her stick away. We'll see what if she casts gravity spells. That's a good point. What variety? I mean, because the runes. I think what Boss is saying that is that they're just copy and pasted. All right, let's see. Glint, glintstone, or what? Glint nail? No. Oh man, she doesn't take long to throw her stick. And it's a demi-human queen. So the queens are like huge, I guess, I suppose. Because all the queens are huge. Do we ever see a king? Or a consort? I guess not. King Morgoth? No, I mean for a demi-human. Yeah. Last of all kings. Hey, yo, pharaohs. How you doing? Dragons? No, 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 no. The demi-human. They don't have any kings or chieftains, male leaders of any type. They're all. It's a matriarchy. Apparently, also right. Kind of like the Earth tree. Ritual sword talisman. What's this say? Uh, Patterns after swords used in ritual combat held at in held to honor the Earth tree. Okay. Oh, I see the sword. Oh, okay. The practice had died out by the age of King Consort Radigan, but remains of the arena are ritual combat took place still can be found in every land. Huh. Oh, you know what? Wait. Why do they call him King Consort Radigan and not Elden Lord? Is Muriel the only one that calls Radigan Elden Lord? Most welcome back, man. There's a boss fight where we fight a king and queen. No, I don't think so. Champion swords talisman in 1.0. Radagon said, "Fuck PvP." Really? All hierarchies in the lands between are matriarchal, except dragons. This is true. Slip says, yeah, pretty much. Maybe Enya calls him Elden Lord or something. Otherwise, we just get allusions to it, like Radagon's source seal. Radagon's source seal? Let's look what that says. Oh, there it is. Legend, no. Said to be the seal of King Consort Radon. Solemn duty weighs upon the beholden, not unlike a gnawing curse from which there is no deliverance. King Consort. Even his own source seal doesn't call him an Elden Lord. The legendary talisman is an eye engraved with an Elden rune. Okay, so the Elden. Okay, so there's an Elden rune. Is that what they call America's rune? An Elden rune? All right. So there must be. Let me ask y'all this: is an Elden rune the same as a mending rune? Because I would say a great rune is part of the Elden ring, right? And a mending rune is a rune made by somebody to add to fix the Elden ring. If the Elden ring didn't need to be fixed, would they be called Elden runes? That's America's seal. Cayman. Hi, welcome back, by the way. He also called him champion, but I never knew why. That's true. True. But he was also he was a champion of the Golden Order. I would say he got the title champion from his deeds in the Liurnian Wars, right? He was the leader, champion. Yeah, yeah, Slope says, yeah, pretty much. Maybe Indian calls him Elden Lord. Okay, we read that. Because he's a mere champion, and most of the people didn't know why he's chosen because they didn't know he's Marika. Now, I'd say the runes are special because they have the greater will's fate attached to Marika. Oh man, I need to stop saying it like an AI. Like Marika and Radagon, especially to be a god of the Elden Ring. Let me reread that. Slope says, no, I'd say that their runes are special because they're the greater will's fate attached to Marika and Radagon, especially to be a god of the Elden Ring. Interesting. Does anybody here think that Godfrey had one of these, an Elden rune, since he was Elden Lord? Oh snap! You know what could have been his Elden rune? Oh, let me go get the. Oh man, you know what could have been if an Elden Lord or somebody tied to the Elden Ring has an Elden rune made for them or specified to them, right? Or am I going nuts? I don't want to go nuts. Hold on. because I know this is tied to the capital, but could that outer ring there be Godfrey's Elden rune? Right? Because when we see when Radigan is Elden Lord, right? When Radigan's Elden Lord, it's that is gone, right? Because it's Golden Order. Because he starts the Golden Order. So you got maybe? I don't know. Let's see. What's the people got to say? Nah, nah, Godfrey had that raw sap. Oh, no Ross is there. Welcome back, cholesterol. The sap was Siraj. What? Yeah, that raw sap. The sap was Siraj. I don't know because his fate's weird. Finger readers say he was fated to die a natural death, I think. What finger reader? That's interesting. I've never heard that. Cayman says, I don't know. I think there's the part of the Elden Ring. I've got this theory cooking that the great runes are all evil mirrors of the ones in the Erd tree. No, not God. She's talking about Godwin, not Godfrey. Yep, that's the what a lot of people believe is the statue of Velka. I have a video on that, by the way. Hey, shameless promotion. Oh, oh. The Dark Souls 3 statue behind Mario, by the way. That was Boss pointing that out, everybody. Freeman says, I think the rune that's missing was the grace of the tarnish, maybe. Okay. Okay, I can see that. I only know about Velka from your vids. Oh, Cayman, yeah. Well, there's not that much information on Velka. We know that she was very influential at one point. She commanded crow demons and demons of such nature. The gods did not like her. She was the goddess of sin. Apparently, allegedly, her followers went into a painting and had their own society for a while. Allegedly, she has a daughter, perhaps. Allegedly, there's a lot of allegedly. She punished sin and those who went against the gods, but the gods were against her at the same time. I have a hard time understanding the finger readers in Deathroot Depths dialogue. Okay, let's go through it then. Maybe that's our Glowmine Queen. You know what? Maybe that is, but I think the Glowmine Queen is in the Raw Ruins. Hold on. Before we go through this, let me remind everybody that her dialogue, now that this is over, now that I've talked to her once before, she only has the same set of dialogue. She has two sets of dialogue. Let me say that. One that has a lot of information on it, and then after she says that once, she doesn't say it again. So we're going to see only the second dialogue here. Freeman says, I had a connection for your hell on the outside of the gate theory and how Mikla actually Radon's soul. I had it. Okay. How Mikla is actually Radon's soul. Is that what you're trying to say? If it is, let me know. Let me know.
Lord Godwin, such cruelty, such humiliation. Oh, my poor sweet lordling should have died a true death. As the first of the demigods to die. As a martyr to destined death. But why must it yet bring such disgrace? A scion of the golden bough, sentenced to live in death. How could such a thing come to be?
All right, so there's a lot of key things there, right? She calls Godwin a lord. Right. Because he's royalty, right? So he's a lord. And if she's talking about Godwin after Godfrey is banished, Godwin is next in line. He would inherit the title or the status that his father left vacant, right? I think that's how it's done in royal societies. Freeman clarifies, no, how he got Redonso. Oh, how he got Redonso. Oh, okay, I'm listening. I think that just means that he got Radon's soul, right? Okay. So the key word here, I believe, that a lot of people miss is martyr. He was to be a martyr to destined death. And this is where my theory comes in that I have a video on. That Godwin went willingly, or was supposed to die willingly, and lead those lost in death to back to the Erdtree or to the other side. Because what is a martyr, everybody? Everybody knows what a martyr is, right? I mean, right? It's a person who gives their life for a cause, right? And so the cause is destined death. Or, yeah, destined death, she says. Lord Godwin.
Oh, my poor sweet, the scion of the golden bough, sentenced to live in death.
So sentenced to live in death.
How could such a thing come to be?
So that tells us right there how she's grieving that, right? It's telling us that it wasn't supposed to be that way, to live in death. He was supposed to be some type of death messiah or death leadership. And now he's sentenced to live in death. His body's alive, his soul's dead. He's leading those who are in death. It was supposed to be this grandiose thing, but it's not. Now it's this thing that falls outside the golden order, right? Or falls out the order of the Erdtree, about returning to the Erdtree to be reborn and stuff. Slip says, yeah, I agree with that. I took it as he was supposed to unite the rune of death and the golden order, even if it doesn't put the rune of death back into the Elden Ring. Right. Yeah, see, it's something like that. Because if you think about it, right? Why do we have those lost in death, right? Right? Because that's an ash of war, or I think I think one thing calls them. I think it's a spell, a sorcery. Right here. The dead have long. Okay, see, the sorcery of the servants of death, right? Summons a group of those, capitalize, those lost in death, capitalize, capitalize, capitalize. So you know it's a group. It's not a description. It's a group. It's a faction. Those lost in death. Okay, so you know this predates what? Godwin's death. So, but right here, this is also interesting. But why aren't these spirits going back to the Earth Tree, or or anything like that? Right? They're not going back to the Earth Tree. They're not being reborn. And if anybody is thinking, what's everybody thinking? And everybody's smart. Everybody's thinking Renala, right? What does she have? The rune of the unborn, the rune that reincarnates you.
Is it thy wish to yet again be born?
And how did she get that?
Be not alarmed. I would birth thee as a
Everybody says Radagon. Radagon is the reason people cannot be born through the Earth Tree again. He removed it and gave it to Renala, causing those who lost in death and the need for somebody to lead them. Godwin, the hero that he is, said, I'll do it. But what happened though? We all know what happened. We know Ronnie threw a wrench in that and ended up, fucking the whole process. All right. Freeman says, I would work that beyond the gate of divinity. It would work that beyond the gate of divinity. He's talking about Radon and Mikla here. It would work that beyond the gate of divinity is the land of the dead. So the lampwood or Helfin steeple and the Helfin steeple, the red grace that guides warriors that fought hard and long and died in death. Excuse me. And died a death worth dying. You know what? That makes sense. Boss says, I feel the most important people in the Eritrea Society knew Godwin was going to be a martyr. That's why the Black Knives were rumored to be close to America. They didn't tell him that They didn't tell him that that's why they sneaked to. They didn't tell him that's why they sneaked to. Okay. I kind of get what you're saying. Slope steps. Maybe he was supposed to become a vessel of death, but his soul / will was murked, and he was supposed to have a will to possess death and use it for the golden order. Highly possible, Slope. Highly possible. Radagon. Oh, this is Freeman. Radagon created the ultimate evil to contend with it. To contend with it makes so much more sense. Right. That's also a motive. That could be a motive too that I never considered, but that could be also a motive. Cayman says, well, I think that Godwin is poisoning the tree with the death root in his body. That's also true. That is an after effect, I would say. An unforeseen effect of what happened to Godwin. Right? Because I don't see at this moment, it's not clear to me why they would want to destroy the Earth Tree, or why Radagon would want to destroy the Earth Tree, right? The Earth Tree is the source of power. He's already, usurped the power of America, and now he, the Earth Tree is the power, right? I don't understand why they would intentionally seek to kill the Earth Tree, right? That's why I believe that this all here is an unforeseen circumstance, I guess, or effect, whatever the word is. I'm curious about whether or not it was part of a plan, because if America can't die, death needs to be reintroduced into order somehow. If America can't die, Okay. Well, let's think about it though. Let's think. It's the thing about death. It's really tricky. I was thinking about this at work because I was reading Rattle's post on the Discord, and sure, my brain was cooking in the sun underneath my hat, and I may have thought too much about it. But when we talk about death, we have to. I believe we should specify whether we're talking a bodily, physical death, a spiritual death. Okay, and we also need to specify the, those two types of death and a um a death in the sense of an action, like murder, killed in action or whatever, or death of natural causes, right? Because if America is a god and destined death is removed, right? Destined death removes the death of the demigod, but it removes the killing death, the death blow of a demigod. They because we know, no, I would say it removes the natural death of a demigod because we can still kill them even before we go to Malekith and get destined death, right? So the natural death, the natural physical death, can still does not occur anywhere, whether it be a demigod or a regular hybrid or denizen of Elden Earth. But you can still physically, with an action, kill somebody, murder them. Right? It's very confusing, at least to me. Slope said, yeah, but apparently the cut of the roots, they cut the roots off to stop deathroot from spreading. It's a little mistranslation because of Great Tree not existing, but supposedly it's that he got an Erd Tree burial. Okay. Okay. But I'm not understanding. I'm not understanding. I think I talked myself into a loop. I don't understand where you're coming from with that. I know that you're saying it's a mistranslation because of the great tree not existing, but supposedly it's that he's got an Erd Tree burial. Right, an Erd Tree burial. I'm sure that they would all the demigods would get Erd Tree burials, right? Oh, you know what? You know what I just. Hold on. Let me throw this out real quick. Let me get sidetracked for just 1 second. If the death root is in the ground, going through the death root or through the Erd Tree roots, right? And it's absorbing the dead or freeing them or whatever it's doing. And you don't want to add any more demigods to the death root / Erd Tree. How do you stop that from happening? You make walking mausoleums. Ugh, Jesus, I just saw that. Let's see. Boss says basically America's plan the Night of Black Knives. Let Ronnie work with the Black Knives. Maybe didn't account her part. But America needed Godwin to guide the dead, and she shattered the Elden Ring. I don't think America. I don't think the Night of Black. I don't think America was in with the Night of Black Knives. The Night of Black Knives is Ronnie's doing. I believe that 100%. America had planned. I would say America had planned to have Godwin go into, or Radigan posing that America had planned Godwin to become the Messiah of the dead. And that was supposed to be the fate. But Ronnie intervened with her own nefarious plans. Cayman says, I don't know if the Erd Tree is the power or if it's the jar. The jar? Oh, I see what you mean. Oh, okay, I see what you mean. Okay. All right. He had such a great post. A jar? Freeman says Ronnie messed up how Godwin should have died, and the tree roots in move, and the tree roots in move in one move. Sorry. Ronnie missed up how Godwin should have died and the tree roots in one move. Do you think it had to happen it had happened before? No, I don't think it happened before. If I understand what you're saying. Boss says, this is America's plan all along. She had him killed. She had herself play the part of the mourning mother, and she ended a catalyst to bring back the tarnish. Oh, and she needed a catalyst to bring back the tarnish. Plus, she had Melina to burn the Erdtree. Interesting. So the whole point of America's boss. So in your theory, the point, all of this was, what was the whole point of it though? What's the whole point of that theory though, of that hypothesis, boss? Tell me that. Yeah, the quote from Miyazaki is, with the demigods, immortality stems from having their fated death removed from the Erdtree. Yes, Slope. That's what I'm talking about. Cayman says, so when he's talking about fated deaths there, I believe he's talking about their natural dying of old age, disease, something like that. Because because we can still kill the demigods, right? Or somebody else can. And Cayman, don't let me forget. I want to add something else to what I just said, but let me read what somebody else said. Apparently, because they don't have great trees like we do, they just call it roots cut off from the tree. Oh, I see. Okay. Cayman also says, I would say it makes more sense for America to be involved in the Night of Black Knives than Radagon, but only makes sense if you think they're different people. They are different people, and there's something else I'm going to add to that too. Let me hold on. Kimmy says, I need to start restating the question in my response. Yeah. To what's most says, to fuck with the golden order. Oh, to fuck with the golden order. Yes. Okay, so let's go back to what Slope said. All right. So no, it was Cayman. Let's go back to what Cayman said. Oh no, it was Slope. It was one of these two. About the fated death of the demigods. And I was talking about they can still be killed, right? But the natural death of old age or whatever, it's been removed. Okay, so if we think about it, let's think about this. I don't know if it's a plot hole, a loophole that they wrote themselves into. But when we kill a demigod, we get their remembrance. And it says it's already hewn, which is carved into the Erdtree. So every time we kill a demigod or somebody, like I've said before, if you're here every night on these streams, you know, I believe the demigods are already dead. We are fighting the memories of them. Just to restate that. There was something else. I would say that it makes more sense. Okay, if you believe the Night of Black Knives, if America was involved, because they're both, America and Radagon, it's the same person to some people. But like I've said before in streams before, the reason Radagon had everybody else's children killed or fighting or put away is because Radagon is a man. He is the embodiment of the new leader of the pride, right? Of a lion's pride, right? And lions kill the offspring of the former leader that they find. You think about it. Radagon now is Elden Lord. But now that he's Elden Lord, right? He's got Godwin, Morgoth, Moog, right? To contend with. Right? He's got Melina, Mesmer. He's got these 5 children, and he's got his own 3 children, Radon, Rykard, Ronnie, and later he's got the other 2, Melina and Mikla. He's got those 5. All right. Radon, being the king of the catwalk or whatever, of the pride, He's got to get rid of everything of the lineage of the Golden Scion, everything of Godfrey, because he wants his progeny to be the top, to continue. So he sets up Godwyn to get murdered. He banishes Mogan Morgott. He locks away Mesmer. He convinces Melina to die somehow, burned and bodiless, right? And now all his children are now up in line. They're going to be the next Elden lords and rulers of the Elden Earth, of the lands between. Do y'all not see it that way? That only his children are Empyreans. Only his children are living at the end of time, you know, that are or have power, you know. Sure, Morgott is the veiled monarch at this time, but Radagon's plan was not complete. It failed in a sense, true, but his plan was for it to be that. Rattle says, I had to poop, but I'm back. What? I hope everything came. I hope the paperwork wasn't too bad, my friend. We're just talking about Radagon and stuff again. Let's see. Let's see. Most says, so we're all inside America's dream. America's dream? No. I don't even know. I don't know. No, Most. I don't even know where you got that, bro. Unless somebody made a comment, I forgot. Freeman says, America made the demigods immortal by hewing their memories into the herd tree. If you're never forgotten, you never truly die. Kind of a metaphor. Oh, man. Then we need to forget like Abraham Lincoln, and we need to forget Shakespeare, because we're keeping them alive, bro. I've been in those philosophy classes before. That's sad. I don't want to think about it that way. Moss says, America is inside the tree, and we inside her dream, and the tree protects us outside. Moss, bro. I don't know. Where you? What makes you think? Where are you getting the idea that we're in a dream? I just want to know that, so I know where to. When I see your comments, I know where we're jumping from, because I don't mind jumping. I want to know. Metafactual says Arizona. Okay, good job, bro. Slope says, welcome back, Meta. Slope says, honestly, I think Radagon probably had motives pre-shattering, but no motivations post-shattering. And Fingers took over to want a new Elden Lord because the last vessel broken. Oh, can we still go inside the tree? No, I've already done the Fractured American. We'll see. Let's see. Mo says, so there's real people mixed with dream projections? Bro, I have no idea where you're coming up with these dreams, bro. I'm lost for real. I've lost myself. Rattle says, I think we see remembrances. Oh, are you talking about the remembrances, Most? Okay, I think we see remembrances because they were a concentrated in power. Shrimpy. Their coat. Let me restart that. Sorry. Rattle says, I think we see remembrances because they were concentrated in power. Shrimpy power. Their code and structure is not swept away in the current of runes. Their ability/items can be reconstructed from runes, but you can also cash in there. You can also use their remembrances for runes to level up too, right? I'm not sure where you're going with that, bro. Are you, I'm not sure. Dreams or memories could be interchangeable. Dreams. Mo says dreams or memories could be interchangeable. I'm not sure if they can, honestly. But that is a good statement, though. I wonder. I'd have to think about it. It was all a dream. That sounds like what you call it, a Notorious B.I.G. rap. It was all a dream. I'm not gonna do it. Anyways, Slope says, tainted by the strength of their runes, her children warred, but none could become Elden Lord, and so grace was extended to our kind, the tarnished. True. Honestly, I think let me go back and read what Slope said before. Honestly, I think Radagon probably had motivations pre-shattering, but no motivations post-shattering, and Fingers took over what a new Elden Lord want a new Elden Lord because the last vessel was broken. Tainted by the strength of their runes, her children warred, but none could become Elden Lord, and so grace was extended to Arcane, the Tarnished. Okay. Are you trying to say that Mikla, Melania, and who else? Ronnie? Them being named Empyreans was either a lie, propaganda, or B, because they weren't of Godfrey's bloodline, they couldn't become Elden Lords. Or C, was it because Godfrey's bloodline was banished or hidden away? They didn't have the chance to become Elden Lords. Huh? Did I just get butt dialed in a comment? No, you said AZ, bro. AZ. I don't know what that is. Yeah, the gold version of Godfrey, the Abel Renala. Don't let your dreams be dreams. That's right. That's right, Jackal. You're smart, Jackal. Watch Jackal, Sunstorm Jackal on Twitch, by the way. Check him out. Let's see. Radaboyal says, yeah, you can refine them into pure rune energy. Oh, okay. Let's see. Slope says, the Greater Will has long renounced the demigods. Tarnish show no mercy. Have their heads take all they have left. Right. Slope, where are you going with this? Where are you going, bro? I'm curious. I'm curious. You got me on the edge of my seat. Radaboy, these conversations need to be in a call-in, right? Anybody want to get? Let's get into a call-in. Let's do it impromptu. If you want to, good job, Rattle. If you want to tell me right now, because it's getting confusing with all these. Here's the link. If you want to come onto the show right now and tell me what's up, go into the Roundtable on hold stream. I will pick you up and we will discuss this only for a few minutes per person. If you want to talk, because dang, it's open. It's open. Okay. Let me catch up with the chat real quick. Maybe the dream and memory part of the game is something to do with sleep. That's the god of that death too. Most, you got to come into the chat. Come talk to me, bro. This is just another level of the nightmare. We need eyes. I think we only have the Empyrean, and that's Ranny. One Empyrean, that's right. I mean, but it stated that Mikla and Melania were also the twin prodigies, right? Okay, look, we got Boss. Let me pull Boss in. Okay, hold on, everybody. I'll pull Boss in. Boss he's coming to set things straight. Hey, Boss. And let me know if you can hear Boss. Can y'all hear Boss? Hold on, man. Go ahead, go.
Sure. Do you guys hear me? Am I too loud? Am I too low? You let me know. No one's writing. I'm worried.
Maybe they can't hear you. Aquaman, Juan Carlos. I guess can y'all hear? Can y'all hear, boss? Like honestly, for real.
Do they?
Okay,
Yep,
they can hear you. Okay, man.
they hear me.
All right, tell me what's up. Tell me what's up.
Well, I know you are a big fan of Radigan and Radigan's plan,
Uh huh.
but I do believe everyone had a plan on the same thing. But you know who played them all?
Tell me.
Marika.
Okay, I'm listening. I'm listening. Okay, what?
Well,
Okay, first off, what plan are you talking about?
the tarnish, the shattering, killing off the Great Will.
Okay. Okay. Not to,
Well,
okay. All right. Tell me
first
about.
of all, we will need to place ourselves at the beginning. I do believe she wanted to kill herself to destroy the order since the start. Sounds quite weird that she had children. She had a Ian for herself. She had an era.
Right.
But I'm just presenting this. Let's pretend it's it's real. Well,
Tell me.
obviously she rose to power
Uh huh.
from getting the Hornson to worship her too. Like they got them. She got them for her side. Obviously, she had a grudge and she didn't let go. But basically, she started this plan since the beginning, cursing the fire giant because she needed the fire for later.
Okay.
And right after the giants, I put her having Mesmer, Godwin, and Melina. I know you don't believe Godwin is her son, but it's in there. Like could be hers, could be not.
Okay. Say it
But
from your
basically,
heart,
those
man.
three demigods.
Okay.
Yeah, those three demigods are the first ones, and they are basically big stepping stones in her plan. Mesmer is her executor, her personal executioner, basically.
Uh huh.
Godwin, we know what happens to Godwin, and Melina, it's her little lighter arson girl.
Uh huh. Okay.
So she had those kids. Then she creates Tarnish when she has all the lands under her control.
Uh huh.
So she says to Godfrey, like, I'm gonna throw you out, I'm gonna expel you, you get stronger, and I will call you back for something like trust the process. She literally said to Godwin, trust the process.
All right. Okay.
So she creates a Tarnished, and obviously we have the Lyrian Wars.
Right.
She
Right. Right.
marries Radagon. But then she sends Mesmer to finish off the Hornsent. She doesn't want to have the Hornsent on anymore. She closes off the Shadowlands.
Okay.
Basically, the only way how to create a god.
Right.
And after that, well, maybe Mesmer going to the Hornsent and fighting the Glowmite Queen can happen at the same time. You know, your spiral
Yep.
timeline.
Spiral timeline. Yeah.
So
But
she has the Hornsent killed. Yeah, yeah.
let me ask you this because of time. Let me ask you this. What was
Oh
the
yeah, don't worry.
reason? What was the reason for all of it?
Oh,
That's
oh,
the one thing
let me.
what was why would she want to burn down the Earth Tree from the very beginning, like you said she planned?
Well, it's quite nihilistic for me to say, but Marika since the start was pretending to wanting to have this. I see her as a kind of bit of suicidal, but in a great scale. Like she created this, but she made it a sandcastle to be easily thrown down. It reminds me of, well, let's see if our people knows Star Wars. Like the Emperor
Hmm.
from Star Wars, he had some protocols called Operation Cinder, and that happens in the like in Battlefield Second, the
Uh-huh.
campaign. Like he had a protocol to burn prime planets after his death
Uh-huh.
because he didn't believe the Empire was worth saving if he's dead. So he had a dead man switch too, and
Oh,
basically
okay.
all this plan is a dead man switch. Or she has been cooking the downfall of her era since the start too.
Th-
So let me go by the last steps.
Okay.
She has the she has the Gold Knight Queen killed, and basically she throws away her shadow, like she sends him far away from her. And we know how shadows get if their appearance gets a bit mischievous.
Right.
So she had him thrown away. She gets Mesmer to burn the Hornson. She seals off that part, and I somewhat believe she had connections with the Black Knives because it's a rumor. So some people knew she had connections, but Rani, I'm gonna make a difference. Rani didn't know the Black Knives work with Marika. Like the Black Knives work with Marika,
You think?
working
Come
with
on.
Rani.
Are you for real? Ronnie's smart. She would know that, man.
I mean, smarter than a god.
Smart enough to know that if the Tarnish can figure out thousands of years later that the Black Knights were in league or are of the same stock as America, you don't think Ronnie in her prime would not know that?
Well, you know what? She could know, and that's how she interrupted Godwin's death because basically the Black Knight's plan was to kill Godwin. That was the prime job of them. So yeah, I do resign my opinion on that, but Rani intercepted that plan and fucked basically Marcus' plan to have Godwin killed because she planned Godwin to die, to be the martyr of Destined Death. So
Okay.
after that, and remember, she cursed Hugh to
Right. Right. She did.
to make her a god-slaying weapon.
Right. Okay. Yeah.
And
That's a good
basically
point.
after that, I say that she pretended to mourn Godwin's death because she has the veil, like she's mischievous. She has illusions, so she had the. That's why they say she was uh to the brink, like she was led to the brink. That's why they think she did this.
Okay.
And basically she shatters the Elden Ring, and basically she calls back the Tarnished, and basically Hughes makes the Tarnished a god killing weapon
You don't
to
think?
kill the
Oh, go ahead.
to kill her or kill the Elden Beast.
Really? Okay.
And and it's kind of weird because it's like just kill yourself from the start. Don't make a whole order, then plan the downfall of it.
Well,
That's the only thing that makes me not sure.
the,
And maybe that's the good path, not
uh,
being sure. And
all right. Well, let me
Go
just
ahead.
say this, and because on time.
Yeah. Oh yeah, sure.
Okay. America, it's about Hugh smithing. Okay. The only reason that she made Hugh into the Erd Tree or whatever to make the God Slain
Yep.
Blade is because when she made her deal with the Elden Ring and the Elden Beast to become a god, she didn't know what she was getting into. And so she made the deal with the devil. And when she saw what the devil was really about and what was really going on behind the scenes of the world, that
Yep.
it was all these aliens and stuff and all these gods that were just powerful beings,
Yep.
she was like,
I
okay,
agree.
okay, this is what's really behind the scenes. I'm gonna have somebody make something to kill them. I think that's why she started doing that. I don't the whole thing with the tarnish and all that. It's probably all the same thing.
I
But
agree with you.
but I
So
think
she knew from the start. She realized this from the start.
but I don't think it was. I don't think. I think that she never got to see it. Radagon murdered her because Radagon is his own person and taking over. And when he sees that his gods that he believes are real and not just faith, right? It's like if you saw like God himself, you want to make the golden order. Now you want to find the real truth of everything because he's seen it. Now he's so fanatical that he's going to stop everybody from trying to
do what America was doing, trying to stop everybody. That's what makes the Golden Order so dangerous, because they know the truth, but they still believe it. They still follow it. And Radagon kills America, and then he's in charge. Now he can pretend to be America, and he can lead the world, and he can get all the love. He can be the one true God, but he knows that he's just a puppet, and that's why he tries to repair the Elden Ring. And when he can't repair it, what happens? The Elden Beast punishes him, strings him up, stabs him through the heart or whatever, through the pelvis, and says, you're dead. You're useless. And so when we fight Radagon at the end, it's not Radagon that we fight. It's a husk. It's a vessel that's being controlled by the Elden Beast in Radagon form. So when we kill Radagon, it's the Elden Beast comes out. He takes his true form. He turns the body into a sword. And then when we kill the Elden Beast, then we find the true America already beheaded, already crumbled into nothing, pretty much. And we know from that point that she's been dead a long time, and that the person
And
we
you know
fought.
what? I
Go
I
ahead.
agree. Yeah.
Okay.
No, I half agree with you
Half agree.
because because you make Marika like pretty out of the scope. Like she had her plans too, and Radigan too. Like I'm not saying Radigan is like pretty dumb, but like he had his aspirations. She had her plans. So your theory could be true, but she had already the tarnish made. In your theory, you make Radigan expel the tarnish, but that's the only point I'm quite uh, counter. Like I'm not agreeing with you. Like she made the tarnished, and that's basically her middle finger to the her will.
One final piece before I bring somebody else in.
Yeah, don't
I'll
worry.
say something, and then you can finish off. You have the last word. All right. Let me tell you why
Yeah,
I
don't
know
worry.
it's Radigan that threw the tarnish out. Right. And
Yep.
now that you said it, maybe it might be him. The reason I think that, it may not fall in line, but let's think about what Gideon says. Right. Gideon's talked to Radigan posing as America, and America has told him, Radigan America has told Gideon, I want you to fight unto eternity, to struggle. I don't want you ever to be this, because he knows that because Radigan knows that America's plan already, right, was the tarnish to come back. But now that he's got control of everything, Gideon comes back and he tells Gideon this. Radigan posing in America tells Gideon this, and now Gideon, because he thinks that he's talking to America, he's fucked up in his head, and he's like, oh, the one true God has told me the real secret, and this is why I'm gonna sabotage and everything, and everything from now on, to make sure that we always struggle unto eternity, because God has told me. That's it. That's all I got to say.
No, you know what? I like it because basically, Radagon hijacked Marcus' plan. Like she had the tarnished to come back, but he remade the plan. Like Gideon was asking him if this is true. Like Gideon was asking like why she made the tarnished, and obviously Marika had like planned to the tarnished to come back, but Radigan said to him like, no, that's not true. I want you to stroll to eternity. So yeah, Marika had plans, and Radigan hijacked them.
Yep.
So we have that common ground.
All right then.
So that's all I'm going to say, and I think Cayman is really excited, Cannon. So let's
All right.
pull him out.
All right. Oh, I got to get Rattle next. He was next in line.
Oh, Rattle's next. Okay,
right,
don't worry.
Unless Cayman's gonna be. And hey, Cayman, Cayman, are you on lunch break? I'll pull you in right now if you're on lunch break. Let me know. All right.
He may be.
All right,
But who
boss.
knows?
I'll talk to you later, man.
Sure. Goodbye.
Later, man. All right. So next, it's either gonna be. Are you on lunch break, man? If you're on lunch break, I'll pull you first if nobody minds. I'm going to go ahead and pull him first. Yeah, because he's on lunch. Okay, everybody, thank you for being supportive on this. All right, Cayman, are you there? Can anybody hear him?
Yeah, can you hear me okay?
Yeah. All right, man. Because of time, let me know what's up.
Very, very quickly. So I think that both of you were on something very, very important, and that there is a difference. There's a difference in her reigns. At the beginning of her reigns, we have the Age of Plenty. The Erd Tree was bountiful, and it was blessing people left and right. And then something happened, and the Age of Plenty ended, and now we don't see Marika out in the real world. We see Radagon, and I think that that's when the actual Elden Ring was shattered. I think we
No, wait, wait,
I
wait.
think
Start over. Start over. Sorry. Start over. I want to make sure I get it right in my head what you're saying. Go ahead. Sorry.
I think the Elden Ring was shattered at the end of the Age of Plenty, and we have been watching Marika die for the entirety of an epoch. Right.
Okay.
The reason why the Erd Tree is no longer bountiful is because it's just supporting her. I think the reason the story was told in the way it was is because we wanted to have a difference between the person Marika is when she's doing bad and the person Marika is when she's doing good. The reason we go to see her commit a genocide in the DLC is because we have this like sticking point as a community where Radagon does everything bad and Marika does everything good. And I think with what we're supposed to understand is that Marika is a very nuanced person. She did all this shit from the beginning. But like when we get to the story of her coming up with a plan to kill God, which is in this case her,
Uh-huh.
you're right, it's because godhood is a trap. But it's also to set up a scenario like Ronnie wants, where there is no God, where
Okay.
there is no influence, where she's dead and they will never have to talk to the greater will again. Um, and that's, I mean, that's why, that's why the Tarnished have to leave and come back, and she needs to die, and there needs to be no one left holding the Elden Ring, just a lord, a king, instead of a vessel. Um, I think what Melina, because Melina was told to burn the Erd Tree. Her plan was by America, you got to kill me, dog. You got to go in there. You got to burn me down. You got to make sure somebody can come in and cut me out. Because as long as I'm here, the 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 Elden Beast is involved. The Greater Will is involved. So maybe it wasn't. Maybe when she first started, she imagined that she was going to be able to live a long life and lead an age and do all this stuff. And then something happened and she died, and she started making plans to take God down with her.
Mm.
Um,
Okay. Okay. So you know what? When it comes to like Japanese video games and stuff like that, humanity being against God is not like an unknown trope, right? That's one of their story tropes and everything, right? Especially in like Final Fantasy. So I don't find it hard to believe that Marika wanted to like disconnect from from the greater will and free the people from God and stuff like that, and have them have humanity have their own agency and control their own fates. That's a pretty common trope. So yeah, I do agree. I agree with that somewhat. Yeah.
and I think that we have that the spear that everybody's talking about. I don't like calling it a spear because it doesn't look like it. It looks like it's not formless enough to be definitively a weapon.
Uh-huh.
It looks more like a piece of the Rune of Death or something. Um, and I think that's probably the wound, right? When Marika tried to remove the Rune of Death, I think that's probably the wound from that. And I think my I had a theory a long time ago, and I don't think it is the case anymore. But I had a theory a long time ago that the Rune of Life was somehow like the Rune of the Unborn was connected to that, and I think that it's connected to that shattering. But I don't think that it is. I don't think that they are the same rune. I think that they're different runes that were both removed in the shattering.
Interesting. Yeah, I don't think there is there a rune of life. I don't think there is a rune of life. I mean, there must
I
be.
think the Rune of the Unborn Gods, or whatever they call it.
Oh, okay.
It's got a couple of names.
Okay.
Yeah, it's got a couple of names, but I think you've called it right when it is like it is one of the important parts of this order that lets people come back to life.
Right.
And I don't know, because it is also very much about transformation. So it's it's not one thing; it's a couple of things.
Okay. All right, hold on. Let me read the chat real quick. Metafactual says, America's speech, why doth thou falter? Reeks of Radagon encouraging the explore the fundamentals of the Golden Order. Exactly. That I've always said that was Radagon. Boss, let's see. Oh, your Ferris is talking Spanish. I can't read it too much. Cannon is speaking facts. I like the timeline. Most says I like the timeline that shattered ended the age of plenty, and that's when Radagon studied the Golden Order to understand how to do his new job. She had Hugh make a god-slaying weapon to kill the Elden Beast to free the lands between. Okay, yes, those are all very good statements. Let's see. Yeah, I tend to agree with most of everything you said.
I think that
I think it's pretty solid.
we just like are so close. We just have a different perspective on what Radagon is.
And what is
right?
Radagon
Like,
to you?
I think he is America, literally, and he's just like a difference in her. Like she used to be a mother, and now she is, the fist of empire.
So
Right?
so when you say that, do you mean like they're literally the same person?
Right. They're the same person in the same body.
Okay.
Right. They're not two different bodies walking around.
Okay. Then explain the ending to me. Reconcile the ending.
America looks like America while she is crucified. She decides to provoke us into killing her. Turns into Radagon, picks up a big hammer, and tries to kick our ass. We bust her open. The Elden Ring pours out. It becomes the Elden Beast. We kill that too.
Okay. And what do we find after what does the body turn into?
Sword.
Okay, and then what do we see America?
So I think that the problem with the sword and America's body is just that there's gonna be like it is weird timey-wimey bullshit, right? Like the sword and America don't exist at the same time unless we go make the sword.
No, I mean we see the body get turned into the sword, and then where do we see America? I'm not talking about going to use the remembrance to make a sword that we use as equipment.
Yeah,
I'm talking about
once everything is done, we do pick up her head and put it back on a body. I agree.
So America's dead. She's beheaded.
Yeah.
She's already a corpse.
She's a corpse.
But we saw Radagon, who is Radagon, turn into a sword. And then
I think like I said, I think it's just some weird timey-wimey bullshit. I think if we were supposed to know that there were two bodies in there, we should have seen two bodies.
You don't think that? I mean, let's think about it this way. That's an odd statement you just made. That if we were supposed to see two bodies, we would see two bodies. But we know that there's concealing magic stuff going on in the world. They've concealed. So when you think about the lands, the Shadowlands, do you say, if we're going to see two lands, they would have shown us two lands, right? No, that doesn't work. It's like the Evergels. They don't work either. America's body is concealed somehow, somewhere. That's why we don't see it in the fight until the power of the Elden Beast or Radagon, whoever cast a spell, broke it, and they're dead. Says God slain. The spell is broken, and then it's revealed. The real Marika has been dead.
I think it's. I think it's possible. I think it's also possible that it's a video game thing, and I don't think there's.
No, you can. Oh man.
I don't think there's gonna be right. I don't think there's gonna be a satisfactory answer. I think it's just it has to be one of those things where you're like, well, it fits here. We
Right.
are going to put something there,
All right.
right? Because either you're right and it's an Everjail, or I'm right and it's an Everjail, right? Because Everjails use weird time magic,
Uh-huh.
and so it's like, yes,
Yeah.
probably something funny is going on. We can't get any closer to the truth than that.
Okay.
So yeah, maybe it's two people. I think that we're not supposed to understand it to be two people though.
Well, of course not. That's the game that they're playing with you. Miyazaki and FromSoft are playing that game of tricking the player. Do you get it?
Okay, well, I'll tell you what. Next time I see Miyazaki, I'm gonna give him what for.
Yeah, you tell him, and you say, "Give him
Yeah.
one for me too."
Yeah, I will.
All right, then, man.
Thank you for inviting me on. I'm glad that we could hammer out the actual and explicit truth that is told to us in the video game, and no confusion, and leave no confusion on the board.
That's right. That's right. That's why we're here, man.
Right.
All right, take it easy, man.
Thank you.
All right, everybody. That was base cannon. All right, let's see. Rattle. Oh, Rattle's gone. Rattle, come back to us, Rattle. We're here waiting. Hopefully he didn't have to go take another poop. But we got Tim McGraw. Let's get Tim McGraw in here. Let's see. Boom, boom, boom. All right, let's see. Good point. I saw Radigan turn back. Is Sword Radigan turn back? No, I don't think. No, she's dead as fuck. Nicely done. Good job, Cayman. Let's see. Mo says Radigan was the. Hey, what's up, Tim? How you doing?
Doing good. How about you?
Doing pretty good, man. What do you want to get off your chest? It's open mic for Wednesday night.
Yeah. So I'm a sloped roof on YouTube.
Oh, okay. Oh, yeah. That's right. What's up, Slope?
So I was responding to like what you were asking about Radagon originally.
Okay, tell me. Remind me too. A lot of conversations.
I can't remember what the original question was that you said, but my basic view is like the greater will doesn't actually really talk to anybody anymore, not Matir, not the Two Fingers, nobody. And the greater will knew that the cycle was going to end and that basically someone was going to shatter the Elden Ring. Like that's why the Erd Tree shoots out golden seeds, is because it knew that the cycle was over, the age was over. So the greater will probably planned for America's betrayal or whatever, America shattering the Elden Ring. Like I think that's all part of his plan. But the Fingers and all them, I think, and Radagon, I think those are just adherents to the Golden Order. They're adherents to the last age, except that the Fingers also, the Two Fingers specifically, maybe not even the Tears, since she seems to be doing nothing. But the Two Fingers, like, specifically planned for a new god, a new Empyrean, because they wanted and knew a new cycle had to come. Like, they knew eventually everything was going to end.
Okay.
So Marika probably, she probably did see that the outer gods were cursing everybody and basically infecting her kids and making them war with each other. So I assume Marika just wanted to shatter the Elden Ring because she saw, like you said, how evil it was. These aliens from outer space are taking over everything.
Yeah.
So I think that's why she shattered the Elden Ring. But Radagon, I just see as he's a Golden Order hound, but specifically he's the age of the Golden Order hound. He doesn't care about any new order, any new anything. He just wanted to basically make impenetrable thorns, whatever. He just wanted to hold on to power for as long as he could. And he's just, at this point, like whenever we fight him, yeah, he's just basically a will-less soul. Like maybe his soul is still there. Maybe that's what got turned into the sword. But he doesn't have any real motivations of his own at that point because the Elden Ring's already been shattered. So he's just a sword. He's just a hound. He's brainless at that point. Like he's willless.
Right.
All he cares about is just having his own power as long as he possibly can.
Like a narcissist. He's
basically,
yeah. 100%. I agree with you, man. When it comes to Reddit.
And that's how I looked at it. That's how I looked at the whole thing. I'm like, because it seemed like the greater will is not exactly with the two fingers, because the two fingers are a little weird. They planned for this new age. They had all this new stuff with the new Empyreans. But then at the same time, as soon as they realize we got to burn the Erdtree, they immediately stop. They stop everything. They go into hibernation, waiting for the Greater Will's update. Right? Because they say Enya's like, I think Enya says it, that the Greater Will would never allow it. The two fingers and the Greater Will would never allow the burning of the Erdtree.
Right.
But I think it's like, no, you guys actually don't know what the Greater Will wants. The Greater Will just sent golden seeds. He basically sent his sperm all over the universe and just basically seeded life all over the universe. He knew life had a cycle and life had an end. He cared about destined death and thought destined death was normal for the actual worlds to have. But he just like only cared about cycles. And that's why we see a bunch of minor Erdtrees sprouting up. He was prepared for new ages.
Right.
Whereas the two fingers and everybody who thought the regular order, age of plenty, whatever, they only adhere to that, and they thought, oh, the Erdtree doesn't bear seeds. No, this is eternity. Just like Radagon, they think, oh, this is eternity. No, like they're just too faithful.
Right. I agree.
So,
I agree.
So that's how I think of it.
So let me ask you this: do you think the Greater Will is dead? Are you one of those believers?
No, I think he's in the great beyond. Or what I've recently been thinking is that he may have collapsed with collapsing stars. He may have been a great star, or at least used a great star to influence gravity, to make a golden order, to make the order of the stars, like make it work. But he might have collapsed into an evil god, like a black hole. Like he might have been a star originally, but he collapsed into a black hole. And that might have made him chaotic or evil or whatever you want to call it.
Interesting. Okay.
Yeah. So I wouldn't say he's dead, but I'd say more like now I think he's a lingering will because he collapsed.
Okay. Interesting. Huh. I don't have any opinion on the Greater. I don't know if he's dead or not. I tend to think sometimes
exactly we're pulling at straws there,
Right. If I was gonna say anything, I would say that the Greater Will was probably a faction or a council that was on the Dark Moon or the Black Moon that we read about on the memory stones that once hung in the sky. I'm starting to believe and convincing myself that all the aliens that we have come from that moon, refugees, or they abandoned that moon because they know something was going to happen to it. It either got sucked into a black hole or something got struck by a meteor or whatever. And that's why we have all these aliens all of a sudden on Elden Earth, because their home planet, the Dark Moon, from our perspective here on Elden Earth, got destroyed. And where were they going to go? If they had the chance, they'd go to the nearest celestial body in their sky, which would be Elden Earth, right?
Yeah.
And so I tend to think that, right? I don't know. That's complete high level speculation.
I think they're random celestial bodies, but they're all the celestial bodies like are wills and souls. They're graven masses, whatever you want to call them. I think I think it's weird because they're all kind of similar, right? It's just Onyx and Alabaster Lords. It's all we really get for like straight up aliens who were clearly made by the moon or by a celestial body. Right. But like, just because Alabaster is a statue, like it's a real life statue, it's an artwork style. It's like they're carved out of stone, something carved them out of stone. We get, golem, crystal golems, everything. All those things are made. Those aren't natural life. They're created life. So it seems like they're created by it. But I just attribute them to random celestial bodies who just throw them out there as guides for fate.
Okay.
So they just want to influence, and have greater influence. But
okay,
the moon, if they're created by the moon, there's no way to falsify that. It's like they could all be the Black Moon. Absolutely.
Yeah.
They could absolutely be. There's no way to tell where they're from.
Exactly, right. And if that's the only
artwork, the artwork points to, they might be from the moon.
Exactly, right.
The Nox are so influenced by artwork specifically.
Right. The Nox, night, dark moon, black night, everything's right. They're refugees from this planet which is a moon to us, but a planet to, you know what I'm saying? It's a moon to us, but it's a planet,
Absolutely.
and
Absolutely.
and it was destroyed,
It's a
and that's
will,
where we
for
get
sure.
America. That's where we get all of these creatures, because there's nothing left. Because we know this from Miyazaki's interview. He says the Shadowlands is where America first set foot. That means when the Shadowlands was in existence, I guess on Earth, Elden Earth, whatever, she was already an adult, a child. She wasn't created,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah. My lore is she died somewhere, but she washed up dead as a little girl to the village.
You
She
think?
stepped foot as a little girl.
Whoa! Where are you getting that idea? Tell me, bro.
Just not even really just anything at this point. Just I'm like, you know what? Since it's America's origins, since everyone who washes up to the lands between washes up dead, I just figure because they have to cross the fog and all the death archetypes and all that BS, all the death patterns.
Uh-huh.
Just because of that, I'm like, I just think she's a little girl just because they say that's her origins. Like, since the DLC is supposed to explore her origins,
Uh-huh.
because previous to the DLC, there was nothing to falsify to say she was eternal. It's like previous
Right.
to the DLC, we didn't know if she had always been there and always been a god.
Well,
Sure, we get time before the Erd Tree, but we don't get anything time before America. So I just figure because it's America's origins are explored and we get the village, it seems like she grew up there.
and what?
So I say she's a little girl.
Let me ask you this. Let me ask, because you brought up the Eternal title, right? If
Yeah.
we when during character creation, it says that the Newmans are seldom born but long lived, right? She was eternal always, because if she's a Newman, the life cycle or the lifespan of a regular Elden Earthling is probably much shorter than a Newman. So that's why she would
It's
be
gotta be
the
because
Eternal,
Gideon's
right?
dead. Because we see Gideon died, and it seems like he had a natural death or whatever because he's old.
Right.
It's like she's definitely can live, like, if not eternally, like she can live way longer than normal people like Gideon.
Right.
Gideon
So
had to be revived as an old man.
because we don't know how long a Newman can live, right? That's one of the mysteries that
Yeah.
I wish we could find out. But there's another thing that I'll get your opinion since I have you here. But when, dude, I just went blank. Let me drink this Red Bull. Hold on.
Eternal. I mean, I've looked up a lot of the Newman stuff very recently. So I've looked up the Japanese and the 1.0 stuff about the Newman.
Oh, okay. I remember what I was going to say. When this was about America once again, and about her order. There is a, I don't know where it was, and I'm not sure if I'm going to quote this correctly, but there was an interview with Miyazaki that explained a little bit about America's reign or whatever, right? Maybe it was George R. R. Martin. I'm not sure. Here we go. This is what if I remember correctly. He said that that America's reign was supposed to be 1,000 years, and the point of the whole story is that she didn't want to give up the power. That after her 1,000 years, she continued to do things to reign for another 5,000 years or more, and that would explain why they, the Glowmite Queen would be around, because she's an Empyrean, so the fingers would assign other Empyreans after 1,000 years, or keep them coming, and then whatchamacallit, it would I don't know where I'm going. Sorry, I'm blanking out. My bad, bro.
I haven't heard that specifically. Like, I haven't heard that interview specifically, but like, that fits with the lore. Basically, it's America, but that's why it's like the Golden Order failed. America has the words of America in the church where it's like, oh, like, you guys got to search the Golden Order. Like, we got to search the Golden Order, the depths of it. We got to cultivate our realm in the Golden Order. But that's just cultivation stories is what they call that. But for like wuxia different type of novel and stories in China, they'd be like, oh, well, the Golden Order is the path we're taking, and we got to cultivate our faith and cultivate our interpretation of the Golden Order. like basically the grace and the life essence, and that's why they're like, oh, our grace is increased. But the thing is clearly like she became a god, and then she clearly did like um, break faith. She lost her faith, or whatever you want to call it. You know, Garlet or Gold Mask says it was due to the outer gods squabbling, bickering like men, and then the other things we get are like, oh well, it's because of Godwin's death. That's what a trailer, like, well, an article pre-release says, and that's what Rogier says. He's like, that was the catalyst. That's why the Elden Ring was shattered, is because Godwin died. So my thing is I thought she just lost faith because I make a joke out of it constantly, but I say she got married to the Greater Will. The Greater Will was a control freak. She didn't realize that the Greater Will was going to infect all of her kids and not protect her kids from all the outer gods. And so she got a divorce, broke the ring, and basically threw it in the trash.
Awesome. I like that.
Because the Greater Will couldn't protect her kids.
Yeah.
Like, to me, it was always like she lost her golden child. She lost Mikola. She lost Moog. You know, Gideon's like, oh, America was super sad because she lost Mikola to Moog. He says that he says she was sad, or her sorrow was justified after the kidnapping.
Interesting.
So it's like, to me, it just seemed like all those fit the same thing, which is the outer gods were possessing her kids, all of her kids, whether it be Crucible, Omen, Book BS, or whatever. Outer gods were possessing all of them and fighting over her and forcing her kids and her lands to, like, all of her actual people that she led in faith, forcing all of them to kill each other and war each other over the Elden Ring, over power.
Yeah.
And so she's like, screw this. She just broke it and said, nobody can have it. But meanwhile, the Greater Will knew it was all going to come to an end anyways. And so the prophecy and everything like that was always for the Tarnished to actually come back and have grace beckon them back and basically have a new Lord. Because the Greater Will just didn't want chaos. He just wanted order. All he cares about is a hierarchy. So all the Greater Will wanted was just a new God. He's like, all I want is a new representation of a God.
Right.
And I think that's why I stick by Randy. I'm like, I think it's just because Randy's like, screw all the outer gods. We need to get all the magic BS away from the lands between. It's ruining everything.
I like that. I like that outlook or interpretation. All right, man. Well, let me let you go, and because I got a few minutes left, and I got some super chats to read. All right.
For sure. All right.
Take it easy, man.
Brother.
Bye. All right, Rattle, if you're out there, if you're listening, come back. Let's see. Thank you for the super chat, Most. Let me see. You want me to read your last 4 messages? Let's see. Last 4 messages. All right. Let's go. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, here we go. Most says, Rodigan was the remains of a champion that was put inside the jar with the original America. The shamans were used as the glue, but the Hornsent wanted to revive the champion, but they put in the jar. America was the first successful jar to create a saint, an Imperium, because America didn't die, but Rodigan was always inside of her. When America shattered the ring, the Greater Will gave power to Rodigan to take over. The Greater Will lost connection to lands because the tower didn't work anymore. Let's see. Greater Will was the son of the Sun Realm Society. They died because the Hornsent were trying to access power of the outer gods. The tower stops working, so the Greater Will sends agents, but they went rogue. Okay, let's. I do like this. Your last statement here. I like this interpretation that the Greater Will was the son of the Sun Realm Society, and the tower stopped working, and the Greater Will sent his agents. One thing I'll disagree with is that America being a jar saint, and two, I'm always going to disagree with Radigan being one with America, because it doesn't make any sense literally, and it doesn't make any sense. And when I say literally, I mean it doesn't make sense story wise. I'll say that it doesn't make sense story wise, and it just doesn't make sense to me, because we know that America is in Lindell we know that. Let me say this: when Radigan comes onto to the stage of history, he's leading a golden host into Liurnia, and the Liurnian Wars happen, right? And this is what everybody needs to reconcile this in your own way. I don't think there is a way. If Radigan is America, why did she not save the lives of her army, right, in two different wars? Why pose as a weak Radigan? Why not use the god powers that she has? Because she's the one true God. To end the war with the first time, the first battle. Why two wars? You reconcile that. I dare you. I dare you. Why watch her men die? My comrades. If they're the same person, my comrades, why do you falter? Why not just use your godlike power, America, win the war? All right. Metal Factual says, what shade of gold is the Erd tree normally? Am I way off base here in thinking that the Newman are tree spirits living within the trees, white trees of a near and limb? I haven't visited Shaman Village in my DLC play. Really? You haven't been? That is a good question. I would say, and to your answer, I would say the original color of the Erd tree is the color that we see here on these trees here. Regular wood or whatever. I don't think they're made up of the shamans that we see in the Shadowlands, because the real Erd tree wouldn't glow. This is a real offspring of the Erd tree, in my opinion, in my humble opinion. Wait, so America was active when Mikla was taken? Well, that's what Gideon tells us, right? He plays us and he says, oh, this explains why Mikla, why she was distraught. But, when I was listening to Slope Talk, a thought occurred to me. Well, if that was actually Mikla, or if that was actually America, what if, now big capital what if Mikla is the rebirth of Godwin? That's why he's got golden hair. That's why he's basically perfect. But since the rebirth process makes you a child or whatever, think about it. And then Mikla gets stolen. So America has to go through losing her golden son once again. Think about that one. Smoke on that one. Moy says, was one with America, and after the shattered, he had a body. No. The shattering was definitely after Radigan became Elden Lord. Right? So if there were one, they were one during the Liurnian Wars. Meta says Radigan was created as in a pot to be the ultimate warrior, but America was used for the glue. How does this not make sense? Yeah, it doesn't make sense. It just doesn't. If you're a god, you don't need the ultimate warrior, right? Right? If you have Godfrey, you don't need Radigan. It doesn't make sense. Why even have Godfrey if she was always Radigan with her? Hello? Come on. Right? Am I the only one that sees this? Moog and Morgoth can project themselves. True, but they're also powerful as well, Cayman. They're also powerful as well. They probably made her by accident. I think she's just a bad general. Wait, what? They probably split off like Mikla and St. Trina. That can't be true either. Because if you think that Radigan is the champion spoken of in the brick hammer and everything like that, you can't. That doesn't make any sense. You can't reconcile that. Then it doesn't make any sense in a literary form. In story wise, it wouldn't make sense. Mo says because the army of the moon was strong, that's why Radicon let Radigan take over to Riz. You know what, Most? You're right. That's what happened. That's what happened. Slope says apparently Radigan couldn't beat Renala, especially Renala was too strong. I will need to sit on my Inquisition throne for that Mikla theory. I'm telling you, boss. Slope says there's a lot of parallels between Godwin and Mikla. I wouldn't even doubt it, to be honest. The crazy shit as it sounds. Crazy as it sounds. Let's see. Slope also says because Godfrey lost ambition after winning too much. But if he lost ambition, you point him in the direction of battle once again. It reignites, right? Right? Because the formula requires a lord. The formula to what? To be a god? America was already a god. If you're talking about to be a god, America was already a god. And if she needed a lord, she wouldn't have cast out Godfrey. Right? Because the need is a need. You can't do without a need. Unless you're going to come back and say, oh, for a short time, for a while or whatever, she could be by herself. Then why not just be by herself forever? Slope says Godfrey wasn't about that peaceful life in the capital. He wasn't. So send him to go fight Liurnia. Right? 2 wars. Right? No? Am I wrong? Am I wrong? Where's Jack? Jack would know how to answer this. Let us all think very hard and see if we can summon Jack right now. Jack. Think very earnestly, concentrate. We need the goat. My point is that she can probably project herself like Morgoth. But they're still powerful. They're still powerful, though. He wanted to save Godfrey to defeat the Elden beast. Why not just defeat him now when he was already Elden Lord? Do you see how you can't reconcile this? Because it doesn't make any sense. Why wait to do something when at the height of your power, why wait to do something? You know what I mean? Why wait until the world is crumbling, you're losing power, everybody's lost power to do something? Do it when you're at the most powerful, right? Or no, is that not the way things work? Tell me why ain't nothing but a heartache. Tell me why. What I'm wrong about here, please. What am I wrong about here? Please tell me. All right, let me see. That the Lord, because the formula requires. Oh yeah, I think I answered that, right? I think Marika was a god, but we need a we need to remember she was not omnipotent. She had armies to fight wars and a lord. She did. She did. And she also had children, like Godwin, that defeated whatchamacallit, dragons. She also had Godfrey. She also had finger creepers and fingers and two fingers and everything else. She had an army of monsters. She had an army that conquered the majority of the lands between. Why gimp yourself and say, and not turn into the god during the battle? If you're fighting a battle, right? You're fighting a battle and you're like, we're not going to win. Why not pull out your trump card and be like, boom, here's some magical power. Fuck. You know, it doesn't make any sense. I wish Jack would have show up. Let's see. Cayman says, why does their power have to do with America's ability to be both in Lindell and Liurnia? Why does their power have to do with America ability to be both in? No, what I'm saying is, she has this power, this godlike power to cast away giant chunks of land, to do all these things, and she's not using it to fight a backwoods little army that of 12. No. I think it was 20 Karian knights. With her god, are you saying 20 Karian knights are stronger than America, the Eternal, the one true God? Is that what you're telling me? Is that the standpoint, the hill that the Elden Ring community is going to stand on? That 20 Karian knights are stronger than Queen America? Oh man, what was the question, Meta? Oh, good grief. All right, let's see. Godfrey apparently was in the last battle with Grace as Radagon was in Liurnia. As Radagon returned to the capital after Godfrey lost his grace after beating his last enemy, then was banished. Is that the timeline that you're giving me, Slope? Remember, there's 2 wars in Liurnia. If the first war of Liurnia ended in a stalemate, and Godfrey had just finished doing his last battle, why didn't America go, hey, my love, Godfrey, biggest dicketh, cometh forth and destroy Liurnia? Why not do that? Why sin? Why pretend to be Radagon again and go gimp? Well, we'll have to ask why the Abenorgs and their persecution. Renella and the Nox are the originators of those, and I think that's part of it. Huh? So probably Godfrey was in another battle, and Radagon was in the Liurnia Wars 1 and 2. Sarcer, her Scarso is intelligence and faith booster. She has no strong in physical way. Yeah, boss, is that your counter argument? We know how powerful faith skills are, right? And to be a good general, you need intelligence. So America is super intelligent. She has enough common sense. She has enough intelligence to say, let me bust out this magic. Let me bring in everybody. Why fight 2 wars that end in no victory? It doesn't make any sense because she's too smart to lose. Boss, right? Okay, Metafactual says, okay, let me analyze this again. Brother, I can beat her up. She isn't a super god. Bro, you're beating up Radagon. You're beating up a dead body, bro. A dead body. But yeah, I mean, technically, you have me on a technicality there. True. I agree. Juan, does it matter if X event happened before Y event? The past might not be a series of consecutive events. Why the perspective of now all history happens in the same time, stacked upon itself. Juan, that's my theory, the spiral timeline theory, that things are happening concurrently. We need to pirate scale America, boss says. True. But remember what Hugh said. Right? Hugh said something along the lines that she was terribly powerful or something like that. She was like so powerful it scared him. I don't know. Somebody look up that line, please. That tells us a lot about how powerful America was, if you want to put her on a scale. Slope says, basically, while Radagon's fighting Renala, Godfrey kills Stormlander and returns to the capital without Grace, then gets Grace taken back America after she gets back from Lyra. That may be the chain of events, right? But and it may happen like concurrently, like that, consecutively at the same time. So America should already know, oh shit, Radagon's dying, getting his ass kicked over here. Let me send Biggest Dicketh over there and kick some ass. Let me send my alpha male instead of beta boy. Right? Right? If you can see all things at the same time, you're not going to throw your biggest asset away if you didn't need them. If you need them, right? I wish I could tell him you guys answered my question. Oh, dude, I'm sorry, bro. Sorry, I'll stop it. We got to end the discussion. Meta. I think Meta's already. He said sorry about something. Radagon had a small army with him. I don't think it was a small army. It said a great golden host, right? Let's see. Small army with him because Daddy Godfrey was fighting the giants in the second, and in the second one, Godfrey was the Stormlord. Why even send Godfrey to the Stormlord, right? Okay. The Greater Will does act in mysterious ways. Why destroy Liurnia? Why not? If you're taking over the world, why not take it all? Right? Why not take it all? You can rebuild. Think about it. Look at Europe after World War II. We rebuilt it. And I don't mean the United States. The United States helped, but I mean the world. Rebuilt it. You rebuild it. You take over, you rebuild. Nice. And the people who live in the rebuilt, they love Lindell. They love the Erdtree because, hey, after the war, they rebuilt. We'll be loyal to them. At first, only gods were the sun, Greater Will, with the Newman subspecies. The Simons and the Moon God, I don't know, with the Newman subspecies, the Nox. Interesting. She wasn't that strong as we think she is. She is super strong, not omnipotent. To one shot a whole country. I'm not saying to one shot a whole country, man. I'm saying to one shot 20 carrion knights. Because 20 carrion knights stood against the Erdtree forces, basically. A lot of my former clients would have killed for the concurrent timeline. Welcome back, Mike. Meta says she literally didn't need him. They were conquering Liurnia through deception. Why not use deception from the beginning? Why have the first war? Why even start the second war? Why not just send some diplomats? Deception begins at the start. I believe Radagon's marriage to Renala was genuine, was not part of the plan. That's why it was so surprising. All right, let's see. Slope says, wait. Muriel says Radagon repented his territorial aggressions after meeting Renala in battle. Does that mean America met the moon and stopped following Greater Will's orders? America plotted, not a Black Knight's concerned. Not confirmed. See, I'm telling you, it doesn't make any sense. She is centralizing power. If Godfrey solves the issue, Radagon has no pull. The second war was to secure Renala. That was the main mission. You can send diplomats. You can send diplomats. You don't have to waste all those lives. That's what I'm saying. Remember, if you believe that they're the same, remember what America says, my comrades. You don't call pieces of shit people you don't care about comrades. Y'all aren't seeing that it's not lining up with the way the characters are written. Radagon cares about his comrades because he fought with them. America doesn't care. She doesn't call nobody comrades. She's a god, right? Y'all see? Are y'all seeing that how different they are? They're two different people. Radagon loses himself. He starts craving power. Now that he's king consort of Liurnia, he wants more power, more power, more power, more power, more power, and he'll do anything to do it, even kill a god, pretend to be her. Anyways, all right, we're gonna have to call it there. I can't go on much any longer than the 2 hours because my throat will be in pieces. But you know what? Thank you for the super chat, most. I appreciate it. Let's see. So, anyways, this was fun. If anybody wants to join the or listen later, because I get a lot more listens on post show, join the Discord. We can continue the debate, the heated debate, the heated discussion that Radagon is not America. Or I'm sorry, let me repeat it. Let me say it like I like to say it. Radagon is America, but America is not Radagon. We can discuss it all you like, but I can't do it with my voice. It's too much. America is not Radagon. No. I'll say it one more time. That's it. No, Radagon has somehow gotten the ability to shapeshift into America after or prior to him murdering her. Nope. And you know what? Radagon's not a dragon either. How can he be? America's not a dragon, bro. Boom, 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 boom. Or is it Pharaohs that thought she was a dragon? Somebody thought she was a dragon. All right. Well, y'all take it easy. I'll be back tomorrow. No, wait. What's tomorrow? Thursday? I'm not going to stream tomorrow. I'm going to take tomorrow off. I'll be back Friday. I'll be back Friday. We'll continue the discussion, but I'll be in Discord all tomorrow, in the evening time, just chilling. So I'll be there, but I'm not going to stream tomorrow. I'm going to give my voice a rest because it's sounding pretty rough, but I'll see y'all tomorrow. Take it easy, y'all. Y'all be safe out there. Rattle, come back, bro.